Welcome, my Zentangle friends. My name is Emmy, and you're on the Zen with Emmy channel. We had a little week off last week for some exciting family news and things going on. Way too much for me to be able to sit down and focus on sending out a video to you, my friends. So thanks for hanging in with me, and let's get started. So I've got my usual supplies. And this is where we're going. I just thought that this is kind of, let's break into fall and use some friend patterns that we've had and some new ones. And well, let's just give it a go. I've got all my usual supplies. So the first pattern we're going to do is one we actually did before called ur-chen. Easy to do. All you're going to do is make a substantial dot. And we have done printemps, I'm pretty sure, go round and round and round and tie it off. And the next thing we're going to do is go around the outside and come back. And from here, we're going to fill in all of these ribs that make this such an ideal pattern for my pumpkin today. My shape is going to be a tiny bit different, but I could do it the same. The next pattern I'm going to do with you is called BD. I just think this is so doggone cute. Start by making yourself an orb of any shape. I think substantial is a little easier. What I'm going to do is come out from the side here, come up, and I find it easier to finish the teardrop. And you may find it not easier. It's whatever works for you, of course, out and finish the teardrop. Now, nobody's going to look and see if these bees' wings are precise, so don't you either, okay? I'm going to start here, making the bee's body come out and in. That's just a lazy S. Do it again the other direction, out and in like that. And then you see that I have filled this in with stripes of whatever you like. BD can be any size that you like also. I just think it's the cutest pattern ever. Okay, let's work on I Can This. This is a headquarters pattern, and I'm going to need a whole page for this. So I find it easiest to do I Can This up and down. So I make myself a wavy line, and off of the wavy line, I'm going to make a series of sticks. On each stick, I'm going to go around it with this kind of a shape, out and in, like that. Only I'm going to do it on each of these sticks. Watch. Out and in. Out and in. You quickly get the hang of this, I think. I really like to go around and do all of these first before I do the next step, one thing at a time, just like I showed you here. The next thing I want to do is make a kind of a tiny U at the bottom of each of those, that part of that pattern there, a tiny U. And the last thing we're going to do is connect the U's. So what I'm going to do is extend this a little so that you can get the idea. I'm coming off of here. Make meander. I don't want to go from here to here straight. I'm going to kind of come down, meander, let my pen meander around and back up. I can certainly even take it off like this here and just start again on the other side. Not much meandering to go on there. Come along, down, back up. And that's pretty much the pattern. It is so darn cute. I really hope you like this. I plan on doing my faux calligraphy again, which you've seen. But let's get started. Grab your pencil. And I'm using a 4x4 or 10 centimeters squared. Zentangle, dots in the corner, in pencil, very light, and then connect them wonky style. And wonky style means not straight. Don't worry about straight. Zentangle is all about the process and the journey. It is not as much about the destination, although that's fun too. Now I'm going to divide this from here to here. I'm going to divide it in half. I'm going to divide this hat in half as well, this side. I can do all four. I don't need this one and this one quite as much on this project. And the first thing I want to do is lay out a string for myself. To do that, I'm going to have to divide this in half from this pencil dot to this pencil dot. And if I were to divide it in thirds, a third and a third, that's where I want to end up, is about at a third here. I'm going to do the same thing here. Between this pencil dot and here at the end, I'm going to divide it mentally into thirds. And I'm going to use the third that's kind of closest here. I'm going to make my sunflower, the seed part of it, go from here, out, and back. Pencil is always made to be changed, pen not quite so much. Okay, now I'm going to put some petals in here, but not yet. I want to have something to aim for. That's too far. You can go that far if you want, but I think that other third is going to be a little better guide for us, for our petals. So I'm making a second, and you see it's not Mary Poppins. She is not living here today, okay? So I've made two of these strings to use. The next thing I want to do is do my acanthus. I'm going to start from somewhere in here where I'm going to probably have the base of my pumpkin. I'm going to come along with a wavy line and end it right into the sunflower area. The last thing I want to do before I go over to pen is kind of look where this is here. And that would be the very top of my sunflower, or my pumpkin. In fact, it's a little too high for me. I'm going to make my pumpkin right here, a little bit below that half word line. And then I have plenty of room up here for my phrase, whatever I'm using, and joy. For me, what is going to go in that vicinity. And that's my string. So it's time for me to switch over to pen. The most important thing for me to lay on here now is the acanthus. I'm going to follow along and change my pencil string where I need to with my wavy line. If I don't follow it perfect, that works out real well because that can be my future shading, which I also need. When I do acanthus, I want to do a second line to the first one. So I'm going to make it kind of like a ribbon. I'm going to take off close, go behind, come back along, however, tight, and then loose again. This allows my pen to rest and my hand to turn my work back out. I'm almost cutting a few corners off and doing it in that way. And this acanthus kind of goes into the sunflower, but I'm not sure whether it wants to be climbing the sunflower or if it just wants to be coming off the pumpkin. That's kind of like, which way do I see that? So let's go ahead and get the sticks on the acanthus string. Lots of them. Lots of sticks on here, wherever you think you'd like to have them go. Boy, I've missed you guys. I'm so glad that I'm here and that you're here today. This is fun. This is surely the journey, isn't it? Now I'm going to have to keep in mind, here is where my petals are going to go for my sunflower. So don't want that to go too high, okay? That said, it can go high. Okay, let's start laying on the other two parts of this. Off the stick, we're going to go up and back like that. Up and back. And I will meet you in a minute on the other side. And now I'm going to add my smallish U's to each side here. Most Zentangle patterns have just 3 strokes. If you see them much more complicated than that, they are not really what's designed as Zentangle. My next step is, I hope you like the look of this. I sure do too. I might be adding more in along the way. I might need to do that. So let's just go ahead and see how it looks. I'm going to start here at the beginning. Meander my pen. And back. Definitely an artist conception, don't you think? But I do like these leaves. I think they're a hoot. There. Isn't it cute? I think it's turned out awesome. I hope you do too. Okay, I have no idea what I want to do next, but I think that I'll do the pumpkin since he's close by. And I've already made my little bit of a string, and this time with my ur-chen, I'm going to go a little bit flatter. I'm going to go round and round, yes, and around, but a little bit flatter on top. And change the shape of my pumpkin just a little. My pumpkin is going to come right down here, so I'm going to make my first rib right down the middle. From either side, I have to start curving out right through that fun pattern I canvas. And behind, lifting your pen all the while. The ribs are, of course, tighter at the top, wider in the middle to give us that fun shape. Tight, loose, and back to tight again. Tight, loose, and back to tight. Now, in my opinion, the entire rib on this one is going to be tight. So I'm starting tight, I'm going to bring it out tight and back in tight. I'm not having it as wide as these front ones because it's kind of coming behind now. I hope that makes sense. Boy, that pen just did what the pen wanted, didn't it? Oh, that's all right. That's all right. This one came here, and this is the bottom of my pumpkin. I'm pleased with the way it's kind of like coming out of this vine. It doesn't always work out that way, I'll tell you, but I like that. I like that idea. You could do a little icanthus out of here if you want to. That'd be lots of fun. Okay, I want to put my bee in here before I forget him. Got a big orb, relatively big. I'm going to aim out. You could certainly do this in pencil first if you wanted. And then go draw over it. That's very fun to do too. Coming here for the bee's body, of course it's going to be longer than the wings. Artist conception, right? And then a series of small curves. If you should want to, I really, really like that sparkle in the middle. So every other one, I'm going to blacken or darken and then just leave a sliver of light right down the middle. And my intention there is to have it look a little bit like sparkle, and I think it does, like it's like the light is sparkling on it. So let's add just a little bit of filament. Just light, 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 as light as your pen can there. And then, now this would be fun to add some orbs into also, but that's up to you. There's one thing that I forgot though that I like to do in this I Can't This. Do you see where the sticks are and where they're on an angle? Like look at the stick here. Okay, where it's on the angle, that's where I'm gonna take a little bit of, I call it a divot out. So I could do either side. If it's straight up, it isn't gonna quite matter as much, like this one. You could take the divot out of both sides. This one's on an angle, that makes it a little easier. This is your chance to straighten anything up that you might not quite be happy with on your I Can This. Might be a new pattern to you, might not, who knows. But I hope you like it regardless. There, that's better. Getting that little bit of thickness in there just gives us a little more body. You might want to darken these leaves that are in here too, like this. Just go around them an extra time with your pen so that they pop up a little more. We'll try to remember them when we're doing shading, okay? Help me out there. Okay, it's time to do the sunflower. So I know that all of this is going to be sunflower seeds, all of that there. So this is all going to be my fun sunflower petals or leaves, whatever you like to call them. So I'm going to do my first row to come out to here. I'm going to start right in the middle, and it's a big S again. So out and back in, out and back in. Let's do a couple more. I like to leave a little space between them, but that's your call. You should make your petals exactly how it's comfortable to you. Out and back in, out and back in, out and back in. Little bit of a point on these sunflower seed or tops. And let's make a second row. The second row I want to have come a little bit higher than the first row. These petals here are going to come out a little bit higher. Go behind on this one, whatever you have to do, of course. And I am taking this pattern all the way to the wall on this. One thing it's going to be a little bit time consuming is putting all your orbs in for your seeds. So what I'd suggest you do is put a whole bunch of large ones in like I'm doing here. And then start to fill them in with some dark and some light. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, I think that turned out really sweet. I want to do a couple of things here. I want to put some whiskers that are substantial, and I want, as you can see, my pen is working to make them come out real long. I know they're pretty light, but I want these whiskers to be the fold lines for my petals. I'm darkening behind. I don't know if you can see that also at the same time. So if you follow the natural curve of the petal, I think that you'll just come out with something that you quite like. Just follow the curve of the petal that you made. I think that you'll love it. I think you'll really like the way it looks. Okay. Wow, that turned out so pretty. It is just, I feel like it's just coming to earth. I want to add a little bit of, maybe these are seeds coming off. I don't know. I just think they look cute like that. Okay, the last thing I want to do with you is enjoy what is. So if you wanted, it would be very smart to trace this on here first in pencil. But what I'm going to do is faux calligraphy. And if you remember, that's where we double the downstroke. So the L, the down is doubled. The cross, the horizontal is not. So let's give that a go. I'm going to do enjoy. I'm going to do quite a flare here on the J. And as you know, that's straight down. But when I curve, then I let it go. O on the downstroke. And Y on the downstroke again. Cross. Enjoy. What? Downstroke. Is, again, think downstroke. I like to accentuate and exaggerate my S. I always do. It's just who I am. So enjoy what is. It would be fun if you wanted to darken those. I think they look real cool darkened as well. But whatever you would like to do is what works for me. I do need to put some whiskers of shading to indicate curve lines here too on this fun pattern that we did, the ur-chen. So we'll come along here and just make them nice and long. Maybe I'll even do some on these folds of, you know, you've seen that on pumpkins, and these are certainly the artist conception of a pumpkin. And then where it folds and the fold goes into the bottom, if you have any room down there, you might want to make a few fold lines in there too. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And that takes place, that really takes care of a lot of the shading that I want to do. I think I'm going to make another rib here. Kind of go behind there. Yep, that was right. This might want one too, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. Okay, grab your pencil and your blender stump. And where we want to start shading is here on the inside of the pumpkin, and it will go over the whisker lines that we made. And maybe even do a little bit of shading. Remember, we're working with our pencil on the side here. We'll add a little bit of graphite to the whiskers and to some of the ribs, not all. Okay, then as far as I'm concerned with the bee, shading is always in the eye of the beholder. I think you do the outside of this curved line of the bee's wings. And then coming around here to this sweet sunflower that we made, I'm going to shade right along here, along the boundary line of the sunflower and its seeds. and maybe a few of the petals on the inside so that they'll have the illusion of being curved too. Probably will not do that with all of them. Let's see how that turns out. Might end up needing more shading, maybe less. Let's start right back at the sunflower with your blender stump or your finger or your Q-tip. All of those things would be just fine. You're trying to leave a little bit of light in the middle of each petal. Sorry. Sometimes it is incredibly difficult to talk and work and have everything come out making sense. I'd like to have that a little darker on the edge. Do you see where I'm putting some real dark shade? Using just as much graphite as I can pull out of that pencil and pull it back into the seeds. That's it. So basically they're very light, but if you hold it out, you'll be able to see what I was driving for. This will end up very curved, which is what we really want. Okay, over to Mr. Pumpkin. Let's darken the graphite that we put in here. Doing the graphite on the inside of the pumpkin curve is going to make that curve even more. It's going to accentuate it even more. So I want to make sure that I don't miss that. And I really don't, if I have some of these that I really want to leave alone, I don't have to spread all of that out. Okay, I have a little bit of graphite along here, a couple of places. I don't see any point in doing anything with the, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm just darkening this a little bit, spreading it into the paper. You can get your eraser out too if you'd rather do it that way. But I just want to add a little bit of spreading my graphite out here. Woohoo, this turned out pretty. Oh, I hope you liked it. This has been a very fun project. I have been thinking about this for some time. If you want to do a little embellishment in the corner, wouldn't that be sweet? You could do a little bee maybe, or a little something over here in this corner too. Be sure to grab your pen and put your initials on, because you earned it. We had a fun class together today. I really hope you enjoyed what we did, and thank you so much for being here. We're getting close to coming to Inktober. Inktober is where we're going to do a video every day, just how to do a pattern. And I'll have a few bonuses here and there through the month of something special that you can make the pattern into. But really looking forward to playing Inktober with you. I'll send out more information about that soon, as well as a calendar that you can use. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.